Howdy, my name is Jocelyn Salazar, and this is my presentation on the curriculum I have chosen. The curriculum I chose is called HMH Into Reading, and this curriculum was invented by Henry Oscar Houghton, and this is a educational and technological company. The title of the unit I would like to focus on is called Building a Community of Readers and Writers. This unit will introduce to students what a community of readers and writers are supposed to look like. And one of the main objectives will be to build a reading community. This follows TEKS 2.1a and 2.1d. So the steps I took to evaluate this curriculum were taken by previous research conducted with focal points, such as finding research-based support of a curriculum and how this curriculum could support 21st century skills and specifically technology. I feel like it is very important to find research that supports this curriculum because that's what makes it relevant and effective in classrooms. And I also feel like it was important to find research that would support the idea of teaching 21st century skills and especially that technological component because in today's world, learning technology is becoming vital and very useful. Another focal point that was included during this research was finding a professional organization that supports the curriculum decisions made by HMH Into Reading curriculum. So bouncing off of that, after researching with those previous focal points in mind, I reached my results. I found theories that supported what HMH Into Reading stands for, such as Piaget's cognitive development theory and Piaget's cognitive constructivist theory. Piaget's cognitive development theory includes 4 stages of development, and each of those stages is correlated to different ages, in the majority way. But the concrete operational stage is the stage that I felt really connected with HMH Into Reading. During this stage, it's because of the nature of how the curriculum was set up to support concrete or concepts being attached to concrete situations, such as creating that reading community. Um, Also, Piaget's constructivist theory highlights how learning is a cognitive process and how we learn through experiences and social interactions. So again, while students are building that reading community, that's supporting those 21st century skills, and they're practicing how to collaborate, how to communicate, and even technology could be used if students were instructed to present their findings of their book and their discussions in a digital sort of presentation. There's things such as PowerPoint or Prezi, Canva. There's lots of options for students to learn from. I also found that the professional organizations such as Acadience Learning can better support teachers and students with their progress monitoring tools, trainings, and webinars, and we'll talk more about that here in this next step. So HMH Into Reading is an effective and highly supported curriculum. However, there's always room for improvement. While researching this curriculum, I proposed a few modifications and then researched how these modifications would be supportive in an evidence-based way. So one of the modifications I proposed to this curriculum was to create a tool that would better record data in order to increase alignment within this curriculum. And Acadience Learning does provide those tools. They have a ton of progress monitoring PDFs along with screeners. I personally have used Acadience Learning and their progress monitoring options and their screeners to my own students that I work with. Another modification that I proposed was to incorporate a digital decodable text in their already functioning iRead tool. So HMH Intercurriculum has an function called iRead where students can go in and they can choose whether a book is read to them or they can just read the book themselves. And I think it would be extremely important to also have those decodable books for our younger learners, for them to be able to not only know how the functionality of a physical book works, but also a digital book as well. So, all in all, the research that I conducted did support those modifications of adding in more technological support and better equipped tools for progress monitoring and screeners for early learners. So, with those modifications in mind, there may be a few challenges. Integrating more technological support is not always attainable in certain school districts across the United States. It's not always feasible for a low income school to have a class of computers or a class of iPads or even a grade level set of those items. So, access to technology may be an issue when choosing this curriculum if those modifications were made that supported more technological components. Another issue that could arise is the lack of support some students may receive if they are labeled and diagnosed in those tier 2 or tier 3 levels in later grades. So, in earlier grades, it might be easier to use those screeners and progress monitoring functions. But if a student is labeled as tier 2 or tier 3, while they're already in a upper elementary grade level, it may be more difficult to use those tools to our advantage. But that is all, and thank you so much.